In 1944, the Allies were united by one mission: destroy Nazi Germany. But behind the scenes, tension simmered. British officers whispered in private. American generals clenched their jaws. And at the center of the storm stood one man, Bernard Montgomery. To Britain, he was the hero of North Africa. To many Americans, he was arrogant, slow, and politically dangerous. So why did so many U.S. officers resent him? Was it ego, strategy, or a clash of military cultures? This is the story of ambition, rivalry, and the uneasy alliance that helped win World War I. In 1942, Britain desperately needed a victory. It came at the Battle of El Alamein. Facing him was the legendary German commander Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox. Montgomery did not rush. He built overwhelming superiority in men, tanks, and artillery. He refused to attack until he was certain of success. The result? A decisive Allied victory. But something else was born there: Montgomery's reputation for absolute confidence in his own brilliance. He publicly declared that he would not lose. And when he won, he made sure everyone knew why. To the British public, he became a national savior. To some Americans later on, he would become something else entirely. When the United States entered the war, everything changed. American forces were commanded by Dwight D. Eisenhower, a calm and diplomatic leader. And then there was Georgia's Patton, a bold, aggressive, and obsessed with speed. Montgomery believed American troops were inexperienced. He openly criticized their tactics in North Africa. He preferred set-piece battles, carefully prepared offensives, and minimal risk. Patton believed in rapid maneuver, relentless attack, and bold exploitation. Their personalities could not have been more different, and neither man hid his opinion of the other. On June 6, 1944, D-Day, a largest amphibious invasion in history began. The operation was called Operation Overlord. Eisenhower was supreme commander. Montgomery was given command of all Allied ground forces during the initial phase. Montgomery promised a rapid breakthrough around Cannes. But the fighting became slow and brutal. American forces eventually achieved a decisive breakout during Operation Cobra. Many Americans believed their maneuver warfare had saved the campaign. But Montgomery later suggested everything had gone exactly according to his master plan. To American ears, it sounded like he was claiming credit. And that made the resentment worse. In September 1944, Montgomery proposed a bold plan for Operation Market Garden. The idea was daring. Airborne troops would seize key bridges in the Netherlands. Ground forces would rush through and cross the Rhine. It was high risk. American paratroopers were heavily involved. But intelligence reports warned of German armored divisions near Arnhem. Montgomery pressed forward anyway. The operation failed. The bridge at Arnhem could not be held. Thousands were killed, wounded, or captured. For many Americans, this was proof that Montgomery's careful reputation had cracks. And this time, it was their men paying the price. In December 1944, Germany launched a massive counteroffensive, the Battle of the Bulge. When American lines were broken in the north, Eisenhower temporarily placed some U.S. forces under Montgomery's command. Montgomery reorganized the defensive lines and stabilized the front. It was competent leadership. But then came the press conference. Montgomery suggested that his handling of the situation had saved the day. Many Americans felt he was downplaying the sacrifice and resilience of U.S. troops. Even Eisenhower had to smooth things over. By now, the irritation had reached its peak. So was it hatred? For some, yes. Patton reportedly despised Montgomery's cautious methods. Montgomery saw Patton as reckless and dangerous. But Eisenhower understood something critical. The Allies needed both styles. Montgomery excelled in planning massive operations. Patton excelled in exploitation and speed. The friction was real. The ego was real. But so was the victory. Bernard Montgomery was not universally loved. He was confident to the point of arrogance, careful to the point of frustration, politically blunt in a coalition war. But he was also disciplined, methodical, and deeply committed to minimizing casualties. The truth is this: the Allies did not win because they agreed. They won because, despite rivalry and resentment, they worked together. And sometimes, victory requires uncomfortable partnerships.